This is the ETBU Sports Net. I am Mark T. Robinson here with head women's basketball coach Rusty Rainbolt and Kayla Bise, who scored 18 points on 6 made threes in an 89-56 victory over Johnson and Wales University. First question is for you, Kayla. Just kind of talk about how you were able to be as efficient as you were on the offensive end and kind of catch fire for your team.
Yeah, I think it really starts from one, having coaches and teammates who believe in you, because I didn't shoot well this past week in practice, but they constantly were encouraging me. It was just knock it down, knock the next one down, move on from it. So that really helped get us going, and we just celebrate each other. So I have to say it's my teammates that got us going for that.
Also, real quick, just kind of talk to me about how you were able to handle just dealing with the altitude here. In Colorado, you were kind of huffing and puffing coming up and down the court, had to catch your breath. So kind of talk about that challenge.
For sure. Definitely different. All of our lungs were burning, legs obviously burning too. He ran us a lot in the last couple of days, so that kind of helped. But it was hard catching our breath, but it's good having a lot of people being able to come off the bench and so many girls that are great on the court and off the court as well, to be able to sub in and out, because I needed that break. Whew.
It had nothing to do with the altitude. It had to do with a lot of turkey and pie yesterday.
It's all the altitude.
Yeah. Definitely, Coach. And so, Coach Rainbolt, just kind of talk to me about what you saw from your team execution-wise. You guys were very efficient on the offensive end, major shots, and really looked like they were connecting well and playing well together. Just kind of talk about what you saw out there.
I thought the offensive side of things was pretty good today. We shared the ball. We had 22 assists and had 19 turnovers, which is not great, but that was one of the things I wanted them to focus on going into the game today, was share the ball and find the open girl. And for the most part, we had, that worked pretty well. We had a couple of girls take 3 or 4 bad shots in the game, and you're never going to have a perfect game, but we're just such a good team when we're sharing the ball. And so I think that's the thing, is if we can continue to get better and just continue to be more unselfish and more play harder in transition, so we have those looks where the ball's constantly moving and not sticking. I think we're pretty tough to guard a lot of times. And, sometimes shots go in and sometimes they don't. But, we just want to play in an unselfish way where the ball never stops.
And speaking of unselfishness, Coach, you had a couple of your seniors kind of directing one of the timeouts. That's normally your time to draw up plays and things like that, but you kind of allowed them to kind of direct it and talk to their teammates and get them ready for the next upcoming possession. So just kind of talk about the growth of this team and just different things, different leadership types, as we were talking about earlier, that they bring to this ETBU squad.
Yeah, well, me and Steve Kerr were talking about that. I know he does that with the Golden State Warriors too. We were talking about that the other day, that player-led team is better than a coach-led team. And so actually that timeout, me staying back and keeping my mouth shut, was a product of more of what was not going right on the court. And I'm wondering who the point guard was during that timeout. So I didn't have a whole lot of positives to say, and I'm trying to be a much nicer, more positive guy since it's Thanksgiving holidays. So I was going to let them talk. But we have really smart girls, we have really mature girls, and a very wise team. And so, there's not a whole lot I can say typically that they haven't heard every day in practice and that they don't already know. They need some reminders and just emphasis on things, but they do a good job. And that's one of the things with Kayla. I mean, she's so smart and so wise that I wanted to put it back on her to talk to her team. And she's got all these leadership qualities. It's just drawing them out and making sure she realizes that we want that as much as that 3-ball going up. But no, it's just fun to watch the girls take ownership of it. We had that happen a lot throughout the game, where Marissa Warren was Warren today as a freshman. She was asking a lot of questions in the game, and Taylor Singleton was asking a lot of questions. And our upperclassmen always talk well, but it's good to see our freshmen start to come around and buy into how important asking questions and communicate is.
All right. Thank you, Coach. And thank you, Kayla. This has been the ETBU Sports Net.